Restart. Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Good morning to all of you. Thank you so much for joining this webinar hosted by Breeding Resources Initiative and its Business Process Management Unit. We'll be together today for 60 minutes for this webinar, which is chaired by Stefan and myself. I'm Julie Presch. I am the communications leads for Accelerated Breeding and Breeding Resources Initiatives. During this webinar, you will first listen to a presentation entitled Business Process Management, Introducing Business Process Management Unit. We'll then move to a panel discussion with speakers from different centers who will testify of the work they're doing with the Business Process Management Unit towards implementing a quality culture across the organization. And at the end of this discussion, if we have time, we'll take a few questions, which you can pass in the chat. If we don't have time to address them, we'll address them later via email. I would like now to give the floor to Sharifa Siedalwi, who is Breeding Resources Initiative Senior Director for Welcoming Remote. Sharifa, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thanks, Julie. Thanks. Hello, everyone. So good morning, good day anyway, because everyone is from all over the place. But great to see a big turnout on this, and great that you're showing interest, and also want to learn more. I hope I want to learn more on where are we in terms of implementation of quality management system. So if you remember, end of last year, we had a kind of year-end webinar on the same subject. We did that seminar together with ABI to kind of demonstrate how we can basically at that time it's more like planning for implementation of a light version, I would say, of quality management system, which will be fundamental for establishing quality culture. So I think today we will be hearing from our colleagues in various centers on what they have been doing or how they have been working with their teams, with their different projects, with the quality culture in mind. How do you implement quality management system? I know some centers, some teams are very good at this. They are already very far ahead. Some are still at early stages, but that's what we are here for in this seminar, to learn from each other. And also hopefully this becomes kind of like a call to action so that everyone can participate in this exercise to build a quality culture in our centers, our teams, and have better efficiency, better efficacy in terms of doing our projects, and having good quality outcome, good data, quality data that can feed into breeding analytics and yield results that can take us to the next step. So I think with that, I don't want to take too much because I'm sure we are eager to hear from everyone else. With that, so enjoy this seminar, and yeah, let's listen to the rest of the team. Thank you. Amir, you're next.
Thank you, Sharifa. Thank you for that intro to our webinar today. And in turn, I would like to welcome everybody again to our webinar, Journey Towards Quality Operations and Research. My name is Amir Najm, and I am the Business Process Management Coordinator within Breeding Research Services team. Before I start introducing our scope of work and activities, I would kindly ask you to log into our Mentimeter link and share with us your inputs on quality management systems. We will also put that link in and the code in the chat. Okay, so please, at your convenience, help us share your views and let's see how this goes. I would also like to thank and welcome our 4 panelists today who will be sharing with us their experiences on working with the business process management team and their views and experiences about quality management systems in general. Yeah, people are logging in, giving some answers, putting in some feedback. So thank you. Let's keep that up for a couple of minutes, and we'll check out the results even at the end and see how our views differ or how the answers go. So, Stefan, can we start sharing the slides if we can, please? Thank you. So, why business process management? What is the need for such a unit? This unit was established during the last quarter of 2023. Was mandated to continue the efforts that was previously known as operations enhancement. And as Sharifa mentioned, there was a webinar where the discussion on the planning was expressed, and how things are, even though light, but they are carrying on towards a quality management system. And one of the main goals, again, of this team is to, among other tasks, is to establish a quality management system within CGIAR's research facilities to harmonize, achieve quality, and enhance organizational performance. Next slide, please, Stefan. Our existence as a team and our mandate stems from a need. It is not something that came out of thin air, as we say, and it is derived from challenges that are faced by CGIAR research centers. This is evident in center operations assessments and BPATs, or the Breeding Program Assessment Tools, from University of Queensland. Here you can see some documented evidence from those assessments and highlighted phrases specifically stating the need for SOP development, defining KPIs, and the need to share them with CGIAR and NARS partners. All reports also mention the gaps in alignment between operations and breeders' needs, which is an alarming issue that shows either lack of direction or lack of procedural guidelines or protocols. This then goes on, and you can find multiple evidences across, the different assessments that we have documented before. And one thing that really stands out, and I believe this sums it all up, is the actual suggestion to have a comprehensive breeder's manual for better standards across locations and breeding teams. Next slide, please, Stefan. So taking all of this in, we have an approach, the following approach towards our current state. So imagine if we have a puzzle. The pieces are there. They are disoriented, they are scattered, they are very disorganized. We evaluated our resources, and with capacity development and continuous improvement, we created the base or foundation for our efforts. Then we started building on that and connecting the pieces, process mapping, scouting for existing SOPs, and identifying the gaps by looking at what is missing, what needs to be documented, and what needs updating. And by adopting and combining total quality management concepts and business process management, we are able to fill in those gaps and drive our teams towards a quality management system that caters to our needs and goals. All those efforts will serve the bigger picture that we have, okay, as we establish standards for research operations and fill in the final pieces of this puzzle. This is how we assure quality of our work, strengthen our research, channel this quality to our clients or farmers or the end consumers that will be utilizing our final product that is going to come up from our research. Next slide, please. What we are currently working on now is our focus and our starting point started with the trialing and nurseries, targeting both operations and services. Similarly, lab services, as we assure quality of services for both internal and external stakeholders. We defined our roadmap for QMS, continuing the efforts that began in 2023, and we are delivering in 2024 and hope to continue beyond even 2025. A continuous improvement, which is the backbone of all of our work and following the entire process development from start to finish. We are also continuing the efforts that were established previously by Excellence in Breeding Module 4, working on the development of continuous improvement culture across the different centers. And we are trying to establish and hope to establish continuous improvement support hubs within breeding research services hosting networks. As for, on the next slide, please, was for the capacity development. We are constantly working on closing the gaps, be it in training needs from the center's operating teams, or the gaps identified through the SOP developments that are lacking, or even within our core team to enable the team members to conduct their work efficiently. Our training services are extended to both CGIAR and to NARS partners, and are currently working on certificate programs that will support our research staff. For instance, right now we are focusing on EBS certification, and this is a work in progress that we are currently defining and designing. And we are establishing a learning management system with high standards of organization and content that is accessible through our service portal. Next slide, please, Stefan. So where is the value in all of this? How will this support our research community? Why and how will this help our organizations or centers? What's the value? Again, adopting a quality management system has many benefits, as most of us know. And our key advantages is the key advantage is that the system is developed by CGIAR research and operations staff, and it is catered to our research activities and our needs. The impact will surely target better resource management with respect to both human and material assets. We will be able to achieve increased accountability and transparency within operations and research staff. We will be able to achieve enhanced collaboration and communication now that we all speak a common language and follow common guidelines. Drive an enhanced quality of research outcomes or results as we define our quality measures and means, and we are eventually implementing those and are able to quantify and measure our performances. Assure regulatory compliance and risk management across the centers, and right now, we are also trying to introduce and to emphasize the concepts of health and safety within our SOPs. And we move into improved efficiency and productivity by following lean steps and adopting a performance measurement framework, without which we will not be able to assure compliance or performance across the different teams. Bottom line, by combining all of those benefits or the impact areas that I just discussed, we will be able to achieve an enhanced reputation and credibility globally or within our global communities. Next slide, please, Stefan. So the first thing we capitalized on is our opportunities. And we have a skilled and dynamic team from various disciplines, experiences, and locations. I will ask the team also to open their cameras. I introduce them. Myself, I am in Mexico together with Diego Castañón, who is our project manager and lead on service management systems. In USA, we have Teresa Heitman, our continuous improvement consultant and lead. We also have Stefan Anderson from Cornell University, who is our capacity development consultant and lead and our moderator for this webinar. In France, we have in Montpellier, we have Julie Poueche, who is our communications lead, who is guiding us on means to improve our approach in reaching our targeted stakeholders. In Hyderabad, India, we have Rajaguru Bohar, our lab services lead. And from Los Baños, Philippines, we have Princess Lilia de la Cruz, our training and services manager. We also have 27 contributors from research and operations staff of the various centers. They are also our main stakeholders and QMS champions. We have participants from ICARDA, from IITA, from SIP, ERI, SIAT, Africa Rice, and CIMMIT. So trying to make things more, not only diversified, but more inclusive to all the centers so that we are all participating from the different disciplines across the CGIAR research. We can also, and we have to mention our leadership support from within BRS and from the centers who are constantly motivating us and pushing us forward to continue the work for developing a quality management system within our CGIAR centers. This is not an easy task. It is a nice challenge. It's an excellent, let's say, mandate for us to achieve, and we are up for it, and we hope to achieve that by 2024 and 2025. So what have we done so far? Next slide, please, Stefan. In 2023, the process teams, again, were established and organized for training in nurseries and lab services. There were process development trainings, quality management system trainings, and SOP writing workshops that were concluded. In 2024, the BPM team carried on the work and were trained in total quality management concepts. Trialing in nurseries SOP scouting is complete and currently developing and refining SOPs. We now have 7 SOPs that will soon be shared on our service portal for all to have access to. In lab services, we have finalized the SOP scouting and currently developing new SOPs and in the process of refining the existing ones. Defining our audit or evaluation system for the QMS is something that we're working on during the third quarter of 2024. The audit is for the SOP itself, because these things need to be evaluated and updated, as well as we need to make sure that the implementation of the SOPs are done within proper compliance based on the performance measures that we are defining throughout the SOP developments. With continuous improvement, lean practitioner and training of trainers is ongoing, and we will be conducting those during the third and fourth quarter of 2024. We are also targeting continuous improvement leadership this year, hoping to keep the ball running at all levels. We are also defining a service management system to assure quality also within our services, so not just our performances within operations or labs. We need to also make sure that the services we are conducting are of quality and of good standards. Capacity development is an ongoing process, and basically not a month goes by without any activities. They are continuously working with different teams, with the different stakeholders, trying to fill the gaps here and there, and organizing as well as coordinating training activities across different centers also with the help and the aid of the BRS teams. We plan to launch the QMS by the end of Q4, which is by the end of this year, and we'll carry on hopefully this thing through 2025 and beyond that as well. Next slide, please. For our future, we would like to expand our business process management services to include digital solutions and data analytics. We would also like to establish at least 4 hubs with continuous improvement training of trainers by 2025 and grow beyond the breeding networks, expand beyond the breeding networks, as we are not only targeting the breeding community. We would like to open up the scope to supporting agricultural research activities across CGIAR. With that, I conclude my presentation. I would thank you all for listening, and I will hand this over to Stefan Anderson.
Great, thank you. I want to also ask the panelists to turn on their videos, and I'm going to sort of name them, and if they could introduce themselves, that would be great. So Maria, can you turn on your video and introduce yourself?
Right. Thanks, Stefan. So my name is Maria Imber Reveche. I'm based in Erie in the Philippines. I'm a part of the process team for lab service, but at Erie, I manage the gene typing services lab and part of the breeding operations unit.
Great, thank you.
Good evening. Yeah.
And Janine?
Good evening and good morning. So I'm Janine Rose Lapis, also under the Breeding Operations Unit at Erie headquarters located in the Philippines.
Great, thank you. And Prasad?
Hi everyone. My name is Prasad Peteti. I'm working as a breeding database programmer and manager in cassava breeding unit at IITA based in Nigeria. And I was a quality champion lead for NextGen Cassava project. And I'm a core member of a trailing and nursery team under BRI. Thank you.
Great. And Govindaraj, can you turn on your video and introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's myself, Govindaraj, as a senior scientist working in Harvest Plus, especially in biofortification area. Myself trained in plant breeding by graduation in plant genetics and breeding. So more than a decade I worked on millets and sorghum. Currently, I'm leading the biofortification in Harvest Plus, both CG and NORS project. Thank you.
Great, thank you. We're going to sort of have a couple of questions for folks on QMS and on BPM. I'm going to start with Janine. As you're part of the development process of QMS within the BPM teams, what is your experience being part of the BPM team? And can you share with us a success story?
Yes, thanks, Stefan. So participating in the development of the QMS, this has been a transformative experience for the team. So we have the structured framework offered by the QMS. This has streamlined our processes. This ensured that we have consistent and reliable outcomes. So this standardization has notably reduced errors and improved the turnaround times. So by identifying the critical to customers, critical to quality factors, we established an operational matrix that led to the creation of the protocols. So those ensured that the deliverables are of the highest quality and can be delivered when our breeders or collaborators need them. So one project we did was streamline the processing of the samples. Previously, we had delays due to the location of each process, redoing some steps. We had to use transportation waste, locating of samples. So it took more time than expected for our staff in processing of those samples. But with applying what we learned, making some changes, removing the identified waste, following protocols, adopting QMS. So the flow of processing of samples improved. Actually, in one area, with the small changes we did at almost zero cost, by organizing the sample process flow, we were able to reduce the travel time by 95%. So this helped the team do more instead of those things. So this approach has enabled the team to work, as said, more efficiently, optimize the resource allocation, which significantly boosting the productivity and enhancing our ability to meet those deadlines without compromising the quality.
Great, thank you. Maria, can I ask you to sort of also answer that same question?
Right. Thanks, Stefan. As you heard from Janine, who is also from Erie, we are actually one of the early adopters of the continuous improvement. And so we're quite serious about providing quality services and products to our stakeholders. So as part of the Genotyping Services Lab, which is actually part of what we call the ERIE Service Laboratories, we comply to the standard ISO IEC 17025. And our sister lab, which is the Grain Quality and Nutrition Services Lab, they actually are accredited to the standard. So being part of the business process management team of the BRS, it has allowed us and allowed me actually to not only share our knowledge and experience about QMS, but also learn from the other centers through the other members of the BPM. And so in our team, since we strive to comply with the standard, we have, as Janine mentioned earlier, we have SOPs in place, and that allows us to track requests and provide a feedback system, which then ensures that our stakeholders are able to give their feedback and input. And in turn, this helps us to plan and implement improvements. So one example of a feedback I received from a customer, in this case, a breeder, the breeder was requesting an improvement in the data delivery turnaround time. And so apparently the current process that we were doing did not provide the data in time for selection for the crossing experiments. And so, as I said earlier, we have this continuous improvement process, a continuous improvement project. So we made this into a continuous improvement project, and then using the tools available, we were able to analyze and map the current process and then propose an alternative one. And so from a 44-day turnaround time of data delivery, we were able to reduce it to 37 days in time for a selection of the parents for the crossing were to be done, which was actually quite, if you consider the flowering time, for example, of rice, it's around 60 days. So we were saying, oh, okay, so this one is good. So it's already now 37 days. So now this one we implemented and is now the standard operating procedure for the particular process. So yes, that's it, Stefan.
Great, thank you. So a new question, and I'm going to direct this first to Prasad. What are the common challenges faced in implementing BPM in agricultural research?
Okay, thanks, Stefan. I would like to mention some major challenges we face implementing these things. So first thing is a complex and diverse process. So in agriculture research, we deal with different processes from field trials, data collection, analysis, reporting, and all these things. So these processes can vary depending on crop. It can differ based on locations, organizations, research objectives, or on all these things. So bringing a standardized process to optimize all this is very difficult. For example, if you can, when we are developing these SOPs, when we were dealing with clonal crops, when we're dealing with seed crops, the process is entirely different. To bring them together and generate a common SOP was something else. Yeah, so we tried it, but so the second thing I can say is data management and quality. So in agriculture research, again, large amount of data is generated from different sources like phenotyping, genotyping, crossing, surveys, etc., etc. To ensure the data accuracy, consistency, and integration across all these various platforms is a major challenge. So that is and if I remember, third one maybe resource constraints. So not all agriculture research organizations have same budgets. Okay, and also the staff. So you might not have exactly the similar kind of expertise in each resource center. So implementing a business process management solution may require a significant investment and in the technology, and also a lot of training to be given, which can be a barrier for some organizations. And also interdisciplinary collaboration. So in agriculture research, we have to involve so many collaboration between experts in different areas. For example, we have experts in breeding, we have experts in agronomy, virology, data management, and other fields. Aligning this the BPM practices across all these diverse areas can be again challenging. So I think one more thing is maybe integrating the things with the existing system. So data management and all these things may require a specialized tools and for data collection and for analysis. So for example, for RTB crops, we use breed base, and while other seed crops, they started with BMS, and now they are moving to EBS for the data management, and integrating all these things together is can be technically a little complex and also like resource intensive. Thank you. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Prasad. Govindaraj, can you also comment on the challenges as well?
Yeah, thank you. I think Prasad is very elucidated the entire problems or challenges, but I would like to highlight some of those in a different lens of view. We know that agriculture is a common practice everywhere, but the practices is which is depends, based on the seasonal nature or geographical dependency or requirements. The process or business process management, BPM, we call it today, is entirely the new with advanced technology, because agriculture itself, as we mentioned by Prasad, is complex in nature. However, there is a commonality we can see to make through the process management. Say, for example, the diverse process or regional based hubs is not yet been developed, because the data in agriculture is very huge, but also is heterogeneous in nature. So coming from different sources, not only different sources, but also different format is need to be systematically done in coming years, and so far is the challenge for being either one cohesive approaches. And the third thing is very important is the limited expertise, I would say, in combination of the data science in the agriculture graduations. So these are two different domains, but one should expect the very limited expertise are available. So therefore, I think one has to invest and develop the capacity of this combination to address the challenges. And also mention funding is a constraint. It's not always we need the same level of funding, but to continue the process management more cost effectively, at least some limited funding is required to coordinate and makes the system is going forward. But one more things we need to look at the different angle, because the process starting from the pre-sowing, cultivation, and post-harvest. So these are different sources of process. And this has to be looked at in a very regulatory system or compliance issues with the local government or international government, which also we need that just to be in a global shared services dealing with the lab services, which also need the legally, operational in the country or across the country, which need accreditation, which need to be renewable year after year, and annual maintenance. And these are all the, some of the challenge as it comes under that, continuity or sustainability. And one more thing is the limited or restricted access of the data, research data, documentation of especially in the public research. The open access data repository is highly required when we need to know. So therefore, I think and the last one I would like to introduce that, it is not everyone resists to change, but there are some places we also experience there is a resistant change for the new technology or tools to implement. So that also one of the challenge I see. So therefore, we need to see the impact of our research through the process management. So which can be keep up with the changing market demand or consumer preference, which can be influence our research priority. So therefore, these are all the factor I see as a matter of challenge to implement the process management so far. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So now turning our attention to the future, for the future directions, and I'm going to first address this one to Prasad. For the future, how do you envision the adoption of BPM and QMS within your organization? So how do you see that?
Yeah, Stephen, thank you. First of all, I would like to address like employee engagement. Like that is the great focus should be involved in employing in the quality management process. So for which like you need to design like some trainings and engagement programs and to foster a culture of quality and accountability. So, and that is like the way to great approach for improving the organization performance. So, for example, let me give in my case, like I was working with Next Gen Cassava project, and during the phase 2 of the project, we came up with a idea of like having a Q champs, like in which in different breeding programs across all the projects. Within the project, different breeding program within the project. So main role of the Q champ was to ensure the quality in different activities. Okay, so they are the go-to people. So everyone within their institute know that if there is a challenge, like I know that this is the person I need to go and clarify that one. So we used to have like a regular meetings and discuss like quality related issues and try to solve them. So which worked very well. And now currently I'm working for RTB projects, and I'm planning to have this concept taken over to different other RTB crops also. So that means like first and foremost is like employee engagement is what, and then the next is main important thing is assessment. So you need to assess like current state of like what is the state you are having, like and identify the inefficiencies, what are the bottlenecks, and what are the areas you think like needed improvement, and all the things you need to assess and align them with the goals. Like make sure that like whatever BPM initiatives you wanted to align like with the organizing strategies and objectives. So once you have like assessment and alignment, then comes implementation. So you can't implement everything at everyone. So first is like to start with a pilot program. So maybe you will start testing it, whatever you wanted to process, and then like if you feel it is comfortable, then roll out full scale. So for example, like maybe you have heard about EBS, like it started like a couple of years. They started with rice as a pilot project, and then they started with other crops like wheat and maize. Then now they are rolling it up for legumes like soybean and nuts, and maybe in future even the RTB crops may go and join like implementing using the EBS system. So it has to be like slowly like starting with the pilot and then and also expanding. And a lot of trainings are needed for this, like comprehensive training for all to familiarize the people with the new processing and tools. So yeah, this is like one step. So after implementing, what is major thing in improving the quality is monitoring and evaluation. So whenever you implement something, you need to have some KPIs in place. So key performance indicators to measure whether you have achieved it or not. So other things like what you can do is like continuous improvement, regularly review, like if it is working, and adjust the process based on the performance and all that stuff. And I think like those are the major things. Yeah. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Prasad. Govindaraj, can you also comment on the same question about future direction?
Yeah, why not? I can do that with the perspective of the plant breeding as well as that the nutritional traits which we are engaged. The future is for us, is to mainstream nutrition is guided by the shared vision of achieving the meaningful food and nutritional security level, especially in the low and middle income countries where the malnutrition is prevalent. Of course, mainstreaming is a mission-driven goal both for CGIAR as well as the NORDS. And we are also engaging with the private sector to take part in this common goal. So the aim is to let us not cause further nutritional harm through agriculture. Therefore, networking, where comes the process management system, networking of partners or teams of teams is essential for connecting the dots. So there are expertise available, and there is a expertise laboratory or the process management. We can co-learn and co-develop, taking the appropriate action forward for the shared goal. So for instance, Harvest Plus envisioned the automation of the sample submission portal, also working with the global shared services, and auto data delivery to encourage the partner and to screen the product for the nutritional traits, especially the XRF, which is very rapid in action and delivering the data, which is in progress. Investing also from our side and also from the project-based in training and development program to provide the personnel or the staff with the necessary abilities to use the new technologies, which is also the quality management system to make sure that the digital technology to ensure the transparency as well as the traceability, which is very important. So integrating lean management as for into the process management, what we are doing, phenotyping networking, for improving the efficiency and employing the full cost recovery model, which is coming up very well to offer the competitive price via shared services, is the one way to develop the trust with the flexibility of the process management. We also ensure that during the process or the engagement or the negotiation, no one should hesitate to adapt to the process management or quality system management with the terms and condition. We are very flexible on that, understanding the both customers and the service provider to make sure that when we are on the same page for the each trait or the quality management to offer the better global standard. The purpose is to measure the nutritional attributes of the crops very quickly and affordable cost. That's very important. The process management should bring it. And publicly available standards, which is developed by Harvest Plus in association with a global institution like a British Standard Institution, is one best example that facilitates the purpose-driven procurement, large-scale procurement and supplies for iron fortified, zinc fortified, and provitamin crops in the market as well. It's not stopped at the breeding, it is also extended to the market. So we are developing SOP in association with the Global Shared Service, a part of the process team, and where we are increasing the nutrition phenotyping capacity. Definitely will be a game changer for CG as well as NOR's breeding program, not just screening, also to deploy those traits as a part of the mainstreaming. So developing uniform KPIs for this and as well as the metrics to assess the performance of this process and quality management is using the collaborative nature or networking nature of the global shared services is is positioning now. And we are very much looking forward to completing this task together. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. That was great. The next question is directed to Maria. How can the BPM team support you in the adoption and sustainability of your QMS? Okay.
Thanks, Stefan. So I think the VRS should continue with what it's doing right now, like having these webinars or updates. So, and I think it should be open to as many staff and as many centers as possible, not just even our staff and centers, but even to our research partners, like the NARS and the private sector. So our private partners. So if more people see that the QMS is being supported by the CG through the BPM, and then realize that this is now a culture in the CG, then people might start changing their mindsets and attitudes towards QMS, and start to have the continuous improvement mentality. And so maybe we should make it like a mantra that no man should be left behind. So everybody should know about the QMS and about what the BPM is doing. So that, and then obviously when we have these updates and webinars, we can show people how things are improving, how we are providing better efficiencies in our processes and providing quality products and services to our stakeholders. So they're connected in ways that, yeah. Thanks, Stefan.
Great. Thank you. And Janine, can you give us your thoughts on this as well?
I agree with Maria with this. So initially, QMS can seem overwhelming. So like what we experienced. So staff are actually hesitant if they can really adopt QMS. So there's the hesitation of those staff in wherein we have those QMS in place. But with trainings, having those seminars, webinars, and also especially the help and guidance from our leads. It actually helped us see and appreciate the advantages of what QMS can bring. So recently, actually, some participants at Theory had the practical CI training last week. So this part can encourage the teams to embrace the culture of continuous improvement and actually adopt the QMS with their own teams. So it can reassure us that this approach is supported across the various centers and helps us see the bigger picture, which demonstrates the true value of what we can have with having the QMS in place.
Great, thank you. That's wonderful. Thanks to all of the panelists for their great contribution. This was wonderful. So I'm going to turn it back over to Amir to sort of summarize and to conclude the webinar.
Thank you. Thank you all, and thank you, Stefan, for moderating. I believe there's a final Mentimeter link that we need to show for our audience here. Please share with us your views now. Okay, to see if you feel that you understand how quality management systems and breeding research services might be able to help you or help your organization to conduct research activities. Wow, okay, that was fast. Okay, good response. Okay, that's shot directly back to the full score. So yeah, we hope that this webinar has good impact. We definitely need your feedback on our performance and our work. A lot has been said before on the need to improve and enhance the quality of our work. And from the discussions we heard today, key messages can be concluded. We've been taking notes, and we understand that there are some advantages, obviously, that from the experiences of our panelists that were very nice, and they definitely are a push for us to drive us more towards the adoption of quality management systems. However, this is not without its challenges. As mentioned, our domain is complex, and we have a lot of things to work on, things to, let's say, not going to say obstacles, but let's say opportunities to work on. And the best thing among our teams our participants within BPM is that this is being conducted with our internal experts, okay, catering again everything to our needs, our research. So we understand the scope, we understand the issues, we are trying to solve things all together. And of course, we have also our contracted support also from consultants, so on and so forth. However, again, we have also some comments and recommendations that we have taken into consideration. Like your message was very clear for us to increase and put things more out there. Okay, keep on sending the message out and carrying that torch, as we say, to our different research communities. And we have a lot of work that needs to be done on capacity development, keeping the support to the different centers, keeping the support, filling the gaps, okay, that are needed for us to adopt the quality management systems or establish a quality management system efficiently within the center. We have all been part of different investments here, and we're working on enhancing our work and increase the efficiency. And I believe it is a common message from everybody that without maintaining a harmonized system across our research networks, we will not be able to maintain or sustain that. So we need to all work in a similar manner and conduct our activities with a common language and a set scope in mind. It is our shared responsibility to assure that we as CGIAR carry on and stand out among all the global, private, as well as public organizations. And we hope that we will achieve that, okay, all together through the coming months. I'm not going to say years, but coming months, but carry on through a long period of time, okay, throughout the years. Ian, thank you again. If you have any questions for us, for the panelists, okay, please feel free to ask, unmute, or ask direct questions, or post your questions in the chat. Okay, we're getting claps, salutations. Great. Thank you, guys. Okay, any questions, anybody? All right.
Mir,
No,
I'm here
7.
for 2 weeks.
Yep, please.
How
Go ahead,
often
Rolex.
a webinar like this? This is my first time to attend this one, and it's good to see, good to hear. How
How
often
often?
do we have? Is
It's a
it
work in
quarterly or yeah?
it's a work in progress, and we hope to have. I'm not gonna promise anything, but let's say at least we will get a quarterly update webinar like this. But we'll definitely have a lot of work on communications in social media, as well as sending things throughout, let's say, email or direct messages through LinkedIn. Okay, we're gonna keep things, let's say, running. We're planning a webinar soon for continuous improvement leadership. So things again are in progress. We're planning things as we go. Okay, next year we'll definitely have more work on our communications and improve at least sending the key messages to our different centers and stakeholders.
Oh, thank you very much for that, Amir, because right now we are
Sure.
continuously doing the CI training, and this is a good venue also to strengthen their, to convince them.
Yes. We hear that you've been the champion of this actually with Erie. You've been conducting the training after you've supported different centers as well. Previously you supported in Ghana.
Yeah,
And
it's the continuous
you
improvement,
really
but Lily Molina here is the champion for QMS, and she could be a big help to us. Yeah.
Sure thing. Good to hear. Okay, any more questions, comments?
I'm here. This is Lily.
Yes. Hello.
I just want to, yeah. Good evening. I'm the one that is helping Rulix in his continuous improvement training at Erie. And also we are continuously improving on our QMS establishment for our breeding operations unit. So the 3 services now, the CCO, ZES, experimental station, and the seed health unit are adopting the QMS ISO 9001. And annually, we're doing the internal audit as our way of evaluating where we are. And we are also conducting our management review annually. In that way, we can keep track of our progress as we aim to comply with the standard. So we really have to define what QMS are we adopting. And so far, we found that the ISO 9001 is the systematic and the established framework for quality management system that is also applicable for research organizations such as us. So it's good that this is an ongoing program for CGIAR, and we're also coming up with another QMS training for the CGIAR GHU. So there will be 12 laboratories that will be participating in the QMS training, and we will also be training the internal auditors, build their capacity so that they can also conduct their own internal audits within their centers or across centers. So far, that is the progress that we are having at IRI, and also with our other hubs like in Serva and in Bangladesh. They are also pursuing the ISO 17025 standards, and what is planned is that the CGIAR GHU laboratories will adopt the ISO 17025 as well. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that, Lily. I mean, yeah, this is a great example of how quality management system can improve things, and how and why there's a need for us to start, let's say, adopting and utilizing quality management systems within our research. So kudos to that, and good luck with the trainings. Okay, just keep us posted on how things go, and if we can support you as well in any way or form to support all the centers, and we welcome all the help ourselves, and we hope we will be able to support you as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, I believe we are at the top of the hour, and think we can conclude our webinar for today. Again, I would like to thank everybody for joining us today, for sharing with us their views. We'd like to thank the panelists, and I would like to thank as well Sharifa and our host for today, Julie, and our moderator today, Sir Stefan. So thank you, everybody, again. Okay, we hope we will keep in touch, and we will keep you updated on our efforts and our work and developments. Thank you so much. God bless, and see you soon.
Thanks and
Bye.
bye.